Welcome to the discussion video on quantitative techniques. So this quantitative techniques is helpful in operational managers in making decisions in the operational level, and it is also helpful for strategic managers for them to assess whether the decisions made at the operational level has been followed logically and is based on the facts presented. So there are techniques that we should use in analyzing uh, alternatives or options. Let us read first the rationale. Management accountants use quantitative techniques in developing the necessary information needed by management in carrying out their functions that include planning, controlling, and decision making, as we say. Quantitative models or the mathematical models, these are real life situations, decision situations that are modeled mathematically under certain assumptions in order to achieve a deterministic solution. So, merong merong ibinibigay na scenario, and then the use of quantitative techniques is to put everything in a graphical presentation, in a virtual presentation, or in a algebraic expression or a linear equation for us to analyze or to compute um, the probabilistic or deterministic solution. So ano yung mga possible and favorable solutions regarding these scenarios. So we define the term simulation as a technique for experimenting with mathematical or logical models using a computer. So we simulate the events, yung mga events or occurrences na pwedeng mangyari. We already plan for us to be able to make sound decisions in the future. So what are the steps in the simulation procedures? One is to we define the objective. Are we going to maximize the profit, to minimize the cost, or to uh, limit a certain number of employees? So yun yung mga classification ng objectives. Next is we formulate the model based on the variables, the behavior, and the relationships. Next, we validate the model. Based on the model na ginawa natin, we look at is it applicable to the real situations, or magpo-provide ba ito ng realistic results. Next, we design the experiment. Kung makita natin that there are deficiencies, we we redesign the models, and then we forward it to the simulation and the evaluation of the results. So for this discussion video, we will be dealing at probability analysis. These are the commonly used quantitative models. Decision tree, the Gantt chart, the PERT or the program evaluation and review technique, linear programming, queuing theory, learning curves, and sensitivity analysis. The others, yung regression, present value, and inventory model will be discussed maybe on other courses. It will not be discussed on this module of the quantitative technique. So we'll be ending until sensitivity analysis. So let us look at discuss probability analysis. So what is probability analysis? This is commonly used in planning as well as in decision making under certainty. So we have, when we say probability, this refers to the chance of an event from occurring. So there are three classifications of decision making under the concept of probability analysis. One is the decision making under certainty. When we say under certainty, ibig sabihin lang nito ay iisang outcome lang ang magiging result ng 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 isang alternative. Kaya nga sabi diyan, for each decision alternative, there is only one event and therefore only one outcome. The event has 100% chance of occurrence, kaya siya certain to happen. Next, decision making under conditions of risk. The probability distribution of the possible future states of nature is known. So we have to understand these conditions of risk, we have to refer to conditions of uncertainty. So each decision alternative has several events or outcomes. The probability distribution of the possible future states of nature or events is not known and must be determined subjectively. So we refer to the risk and uncertainty here as a different concept. So kapag sinabi nating risk, we refer to the future states of nature as being known, and when we say uncertainty, we refer to the states of nature which are not known and will be determined subjectively. Okay? So, yun yung pagkakaiba niya. Yung uncertainty, uh, under uncertainty, it is unclear. So, yung decision making under conditions of risk, merong mga chances of an event happening, but you already know what are the future states, kung ano yung magiging future outcomes ng bawat chances. Pero under conditions of uncertainty, merong mga future chances or outcomes pero hindi mo pa ma-specify kung ano talaga yung state ng bawat outcomes na yun dahil merong subjective element. Kaya nga sabi dito, it must be determined subjectively. The probability distribution, this specifies the values of the variables in the respective probability. So, a probability is a mathematical expression of doubt or assurance about the occurrence of a chance or event. Its value arises from 0 to 1. So, when we say probability of 0, ibig sabihin hindi mangyayari. The event cannot occur. When we say probability of 1, yung kabaliktaran naman, the event is certain to occur. It will happen. It is certain that it will happen. But when we say the probability between 0 and 1, ibig sabihin, this is the median between the happening of the event and the not happening of the events. Kaya nga, this is the likelihood of the event's occurrence. So, makikita natin kung 0.5, so ibig sabihin, 50% chance of happening. So, mga ganong factors. So, more or less, we will be focusing on the probability between 0 and 1 kasi ito yung kailangan nating i-compute. Okay? The types of probabilities, we look this concept, yung objective probability and subjective probability. So, when we say objective, this is calculated based on logic or actual experience. For example, the probability that a coin will yield heads is 0.5% or 50% on any single toss. Kasi 'di ba head and tail, dalawa lang naman ang pwedeng, hindi naman pwedeng gumitna yan when you toss a coin. So, ibig sabihin, this is an objective probability because this is based on logic and actual experience that it will only yield a head or a tail. Kaya nga meron siyang 50% chance of happening. While subjective probabilities, as the term implies, this is based on subjective judgment. This is based on judgment. Estimates on the likelihood of future events based on judgment and past experience. So let us, anong mga klaseng example niyan? The likelihood that a winner in an amateur singing contest will become a successful recording artist. So, this is subjective and this will be based on the efforts extended by the winner of the contest. So maraming factors that we have, and this is not only based on experience and logic because there are many subjective factors that will be an element to be for an amateur singing contest winner to be a successful recording artist. So ganun ang explanation natin with regards to objective and subjective probabilities. Okay? Let us define more for us kasi magagamit natin ito as we go along with the other quantitative techniques. Some items are familiar to you during your statistics course. The mutually exclusive term, if it means if two events cannot occur simultaneously. For example, hindi pwedeng papasa ka ng board exam tapos babagsak ka. So those are mutually exclusive events. It cannot occur simultaneously. It's either babagsak ka or papasa ka or conditional ka. So those are mutually exclusive events. The joint probability if both events will occur. So pwedeng simultaneous ay nagaganap itong mga ganitong klaseng events. For example, in a day, pwedeng pupunta ka sa mall and then kakain ka sa fast food. So pwedeng nasa mall ka at nasa fast food ka at the same time, that can be a joint probability. So ganon. Conditional probability, one event will occur given that the other event has already occurred. So condition, there is a condition before the happening of another event. For example, Hindi pwedeng meron kang hindi pwedeng ma-earn mo yung master's degree mo nang hindi ka nagba-bachelor's degree. So, ganun siya. The conditional probability. One event must occur that your bachelor's degree must be earned before you get your master's degree. Okay? Independent events. The occurrence of one event that has no effect on the other event. Dependent events naman, the occurrence of one event that has an effect on the other events. This is self-explanatory. The payoff is the value assigned to the different outcomes from a decision. So, yung the value assigned to the different outcomes. Kung payoff, what you will receive on making the decision to pursue one alternative. So, yun yung payoff. Ano ang benefit mo dyan? So, expected value of an action is calculated by multiplying the probability of each outcome by its payoff, assuming and summing the products. Expected value represents the long-term average payoff from repeated trials. So we refer to the expected value as a computation of the payoff, 'di ba? We refer to payoff as the value na naka-assign sa bawat outcome. So kapag value lang na naka-assign sa bawat outcome, ang tawag dun is payoff. But when you subject it to a calculation, and then you multiply the payoff to the probability, you call it the expected value. Then isum up mo lahat yung expected value na yon para ma-compute mo yung total expected value for that decision alternative. So let us illustrate this. White-covered store sells balut in the city's central bus terminal. For this coming weekend, the probability distribution of the demand for balut is as follows. So meron daw probability or the chances of selling these items of balut. So estimated sales in units 750. Ilan ba tong items ito? 750, 900, and 1,300 units. Ang probability niyan ay 0.2, 0.25, and 0.55 or 20%, 25%, or 55%. The estimated demand for balut this coming weekend using the expected value approach is 1,090 units of balut. So, paano natin makukompute yan? Di ba ang sabi kanina, yung payoff, asan yung payoff? Yung payoff dyan is yung units. The probability is yung naka-identify na 0.20, 0.25, and 0.55. You just have to multiply it to get the expected value and then isum up mo. So, the answer is 1,090. So, ito siya. 750 times 0.2, 150. 900 times 0.25, 225. 1,3 times 0.55 is 715. You just add the expected value to get the total expected value for the payoffs. Okay? Total expected value of the payoffs of these decision alternatives. So we look at the payoff table. It presents the outcomes or payoffs of specific decisions when certain states of nature or events which are not controllable by the decision maker occur. The payoff table is a helpful tool for identifying the best solution given several decision alternatives and future conditions that involve risk. Okay? So, ano ang analysis natin dito sa 1,019 na na-compute natin? Ang analysis lang natin dito ay being ikaw si white covered store, na-analyze mo na ang magiging value nung pagbebenta mo ng balut will be 1,090. Okay? Let us illustrate more. Mr. B. Han cooks and sells pancit in a box. Each box of pancit is sold for 50 during regular hours, that is from 10 to 8 p.m. If every box is sold by 8 p.m., Mr. B. Han calls it a day. So kung naubos, okay, tapos na yung pagbebenta. However, if there are unsold boxes by 8 p.m., all unsold boxes by 8 p.m. are sold at half. So, kung meron pang natira, by 8 p.m., ibinibenta na lang siya at half the regular price. Magkano ba yung price? 50. So, magkano siya ibebenta? 25 mo na lang ibebenta until 9 p.m. So, the variable cost per box is 30. So, 30. So, may lugi ka pang 5 pesos kasi 25 mo na lang siya ibebenta. Ang variable cost ay 30. Para lang lumiit yung loss. Imbis na 30 pesos yung magiging loss mo, magiging 25, magiging 5 pesos na lang. So, this is the illustration. From 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., iyaan. 20 ang contribution margin per box. pag after 8 p.m. na siya, meron ka na lang, magkakaroon ka na ng loss na 5 pesos. Instead na 30 yung total loss mo for the unsold items. So past experience has shown that the daily sales demand up to 8 p.m. and their probabilities are as follows. So sales per day mo dyan, 500, 600, 700, the probability is 0.2, 0.7, and 0.10. If the sales demand will be the same as in the past, a payoff table showing the contribution margin, conditional value for the possible sales quantities under each production level strategy, as well as the expected value of such contribution margin can be constructed as follows. Okay? Let us analyze first ito. Ang sabi kasi dito, okay, ito yung based on past experience and logic. Yung sales per day ay kung 500 boxes, the probability of selling it is 0.2. Pag 600 boxes, 0.7. 700 boxes, 0.10. So let us construct a probability table to analyze this. So kung nag-prepare ka daw ng 500 boxes, kung 500 boxes ang pin-repair mo, ay for conditions na ang nabenta mo 500, walang problema, 500 times 20, 10,000. Eh kung 600 boxes ang demand sa'yo, eh 500 lang ang na-prepare mo, so therefore 500 times 20 ka lang kasi yun lang ang pwede mong ibenta. Same is true with the 700 boxes, 10,000. Okay, paano kapag 600 boxes ang na-prepare mo? 500 boxes, so 500 doon mabebenta mo by 20 pesos. Then you have to deduct 100. Yung 100, 600 boxes ang yung pin-repair mo. 500 ang nabenta mo under 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Tama ba? 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Okay? Okay, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. So, yung sobrang 100, it will be sold at 5 pesos na lang. Okay? Yung, Sir, bakit binawas po yun? Kasi, eto sana yung benta mo. Pero dahil 600 boxes ang na-prepare mo, ibig sabihin yung 100 doon ay hindi nabenta. Okay? Kung hindi siya nabenta, kung hindi siya nabenta under the regular, 'di ba, ibebenta mo 'yan, ang sabi, ibebenta mo 'yan at 25 pesos, half the price na lang 'yan. So may loss ka diyan na 5. So ibabawas mo 'yun sa benefit na maa-arrive mo by preparing 600 boxes. So, kung 600 boxes ang pinrepare mo at ang nabenta mo lang ay 500 boxes, so 500 times 20 minus yung loss mo, yung 100 times 5, 9,500 yan. Pag 600 boxes, walang problema, 600 times 20, and same is true with 700 boxes. Kapag 700 boxes ang pin-repair mo, same scenario under 600. 500 times 20 minus 200 ka kasi 200 yung hindi mo naibenta dyan. Next, 200 items yung hindi mo nabenta ng 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. So, doon sa discounted price mo yan maibebenta. 600 boxes, so babawasan mo naman to ng 100 na loss mo doon. Kasi 600 lang yung naibenta mo at 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. and then binenta mo na yung the rest ng hanggang 9 p.m. at a discounted price. Okay? 700 boxes, wala tayong problema. Times 20 ka lang dyan. So, how do we compute for this? Based on the yung probability assumptions ng 0.2, 0.7, and 0.10, we can compute for the following items. So, paano ba natin yan kinukompute? Let's take a look at the first illustration. 10,000 times 0.2 plus 10,000 times 0.7, di ba? Isa-sum up. Plus 10,000 times 0.10 is equal to 10,000. 9,500 times 0.2 plus 12,000 times 0.7 plus 12,000 times 0.10 is 11,500. Next, 9,000 times 0.2 plus 11,500 times 0.7 plus 14,000 times 0.10 is 11,250. So these are the expected value of your contribution margin. So kung titingnan mo yan, alin ang may pinakamataas na contribution margin? 11,500. Therefore, based on the payoff table, dapat ang gawin mo ay mag-prepare ka ng 600 boxes of the items o yung pansit per day dahil yun ang mag-generate ng highest expected value ng contribution margin. Okay? So that would be the answer here. Next, the expected value of the perfect information. So ano itong tinatawag na perfect information? This is the knowledge that a future state of nature will occur with certainty. In this case, it is assumed that the probability distribution is an accurate representation of the relative frequency of future demand and that the decision maker knows exactly when each possible event will occur. The expected value of perfect information is the difference between the expected value without the perfect information and the result if the best action is taken given the perfect information. So for us to easily understand this, let us look at our illustration. So, gamitin natin daw yung previous illustration ng pansit in a box. So, ito yun. Assume that Mr. Bihon knew the daily sales demand for pansit with certainty. So, dati hindi mo alam kung magkano, kung ilang items ang mabebenta mo per day. Pero, on this illustration, meron tayong perfect information related to the sales demand. Kasi ang sabi dito, Mr. B. Hon, the owner, knew the daily sales demand for pancit with certainty. So, alam na niya. He would prepare exactly the number of boxes demanded. So, dahil alam na niya kung ilang items ang mabebenta, yun lang ang i-prepare niya para mas maging efficient. The expected value of perfect information is computed as follows. So, binigyan ka dyan yung daily sales demand mo, yung 500, 600, and 700. Contribution margin per box na na-compute na natin to kanina, yung 20 pesos. Balikan lang natin. Ito po yun. Selling price 50 minus variable cost 30. That is CM20. Total contribution margin, i-multiply mo lang 500 times 20, 600 times 20, 700 times 20. And then the probability, 0.2, 0.7, and 0.10. Okay? The expected value, 10,000 times 0.2, 12,000 times 0.7, 14,000 times 0.10 is 1,4. And then ang total expected contribution margin given the perfect information ay 11,800. Kasi yan na lang yung gagawin niya every day. Kasi nga alam na niya kung ilan ang items na certain na maging demand for that day. So, ito yung expected contribution margin given yung perfect information. Given na ang gagawin lang niya 500, 600, and 700 boxes. Okay? Okay. Ang sabi dito, how do we compute for the expected value? It is the difference between the expected value without perfect information and yung expected value with perfect. Ang with perfect ay 11,800. Magkano ba yung without perfect information? They refer lang tayo dun sa previous illustration. Using the best course of action. Ang best course of action kanina is yung 11,500 because this is the highest expected value of CM. So, 11,500. Okay? 11,800 minus 11,500 is 300. So, this is the expected value of perfect information. 300 pesos. Sir, ano po ang use na itong pag-compute natin ng expected value of perfect information? You have to proceed with the discussion. Ang sabi dito, the management may have the opportunity to acquire additional information that may help in choosing the best alternative. However, obtaining information requires incurrence of cost. So, di ba, we do research, we do analysis of our market. So, this is a simple analysis of the pansits business of Mr. Bihon. Pero in actual practice, as strategic managers, we analyze paano tayo makakakuha ng information in the market para alam natin kung ilang demand, ilang number of units lang ang isusupply natin because of the perfect information related to demand. So, in this case, ang sabi, In the pancit in a box example, additional information, if available, would increase the expected value of contribution margin by 300. Di ba tumaas? Naging 11,800. In this case, management will be willing to incur costs up to 300 to obtain additional information. So it is hindi naman pwedeng papataasin mo lang ito ng 11,800. Saan mo nakuha yung information? So there is a cost related to research or to getting information in the market. So pwedeng magbayad tayo ng analytics team or statistician or those who will analyze the market condition. So, ang sinasabi lang dito, dahil ang expected value ng perfect information ay 300, willing ang management na gumastos ng hanggang 300 lang. So, hindi pwedeng sumobra doon. Hindi pwedeng 350 kasi mas malaki yung magiging cost mo kesa doon sa benefit na madederive mo diyan sa course of action na yan. So, dapat mga 200 lang, 150, ganun, para uh, the benefit will be greater than the cost. So, yun yung rationale why expected value of perfect information is computed and is important and is vital to managers kung bakit mahalaga yung information na yan. So, this is a quantitative technique discussion. Remember, kailangan nating ma-analyze yung market using the techniques na tinuturo sa'yo. Okay? Kasi kung hindi mo ito alam, you will be haphazardly be deciding on specific matters. Okay. I think I have to end this discussion video. Medyo mahaba na siya. Please continue on our next discussion video as we proceed with decision tree analysis. It's still under quantitative techniques. Thank you.